bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvaditam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyaadhilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Nithyanandam, everyone, we welcome all of you to today's exciting episode yet again on Nithyananda TV. I am Srinitya Brahmasukhananda Maharaj, and we have with us, as usual, Srinitya Rajananda Maharaj, who will be your co-host for the episode again today. So, as we have been discussing the entire series, we have been bringing to you about the civilizational, the changing paradigm, the civilizational paradigm in the whole international geopolitics. And in context to that, we have been bringing various topics. So today, the topic that we are bringing to you is the importance, the significance of the stable family, the stable Hindu families, and especially bringing out the economic utility of that, right? When we talk about the personal savings versus the family savings or dynasty savings, how this whole paradigm, how the whole economic angle, the economic utility of having a stable family in the ecosystem, how this civilization difference plays a role even in the day-to-day life economics, and what it manifests as prosperity and the whole general happiness of the people, how the whole Hindu civilization is different from the Western civilization, from the modern civilization as we speak. So Maharaj, do you want to enrich the viewers a little bit about the information or the knowledge about this whole concept of the stability of the family and how it translates into the whole economics, right? Savings and all these aspects.
Actually, the whole thing, whenever it comes to savings, people are always the difference that we are going to present here is the personal savings. It means that the wealth that you immediately, you want to save wealth for your personal gain or for personal things, for purchasing anything for yourself. The first thought when I have money coming in, the first thought that you have is actually the division where you will get to know whether you're making your savings personally or for the dynasty or for the family. So that is actually where you can catch yourself. And when in this discussion, we'll be talking about how the difference is there between the Hindu stable family, which is completely based off the dynasty savings, like saving wealth for the family, saving wealth for ourselves. So let's listen to the words of the Supreme Court of the Hindus, or the Guru, and listen to how he tells about where this stable family concept relationships comes from. And what is the key difference we can even understand from how he teaches us? He says that it is something to do with the mental setup of the ability to trust. If you have had at least one strong trusting relationship who has not betrayed you, like your mother or father or someone in your life whom you trusted but never betrayed you, even if that one relationship is there, even if you have a relationship like that, one event in your life, then you'll be able to catch the fire. You'll experience the feeling connection. In this case, he's teaching us that just having that trust between the people, when you have in a stable family, the central thing is trust. And if you see the modern statistics, we've been continuously discussing about the divorce rate and how that is actually a staggering number and it is even inside the Hindu community. It is something that is very looked down upon. The whole concept of divorce and why we have to. It's like it's saying it's something that is dealing with something that is like if I have to use the word untouchable. This is the way that it is dealt with. And the whole because the whole divorce concept comes from core cognition of distrust. There's no trust between the person. And from what I found, from my personal experience and seeing other people in my life and others, many people will agree that the actual divorce conversation starts when there's a conflict of where your money or where we're spending our money. Between the husband and the wife. I had a decision to have wealth for myself for this. You had a separate idea about it, and there are conflict will begin. And always it always comes down to who's earning the bread and who's providing and how you're using the wealth, how I want it to be used. This conversation it happens and the conflict happens and it creates tension. And this is what this is where how the whole thing connects and the wealth really connects with the stability of the family. And when you are in a stable family, like the stable Hindu family, what the Supreme Court was saying is the absolute truth. It is just being exposed to relationships who you're supposed to look up to. You're supposed to look up as a child to your parents and see the trust between them, the trust that you have that they are going to hold you together, hold you to a higher possibility for yourself, and that they are going to hold the best for each other. Every inch the child is watching the parents. Every decision they make, every word they speak, the child is watching, and they will do what they do.
So that means the stability which the child experiences, in the growing stage, with both the parents being there, their presence stably and consistently and continuously being there, it also helps the child ultimately as an adult or even earlier to have better relationships first with human beings, other human beings, and ultimately with God and Guru themselves.
Yes.
Because unless that stability is provided by the family, the child itself or himself or herself would have those certain incompletions or trust issues or whatever it comes to when dealing with and when making relationships happen in their own life.
Yes.
So it naturally the relationship problems or whatever you want to call it between the parents or the absence of the one or two of the parents naturally translates to the similar patterns in the children itself, right? So that is the importance. That is just the you can say the psychological or the sociological. Then you're bringing out the economic. There's so many things to discuss about this thing, so many angles and perspectives. The economic aspect, the savings, and how do you look upon? How do you cognize the wealth, right? Do you just consider money as just something related to your identity?
Yes.
Something which you can prove yourself with, right? I have more money. I'm the one who is earning. The kind of a tussle and the war between the couple itself, unfortunately happening now. This is completely opposite, completely against the whole notion of family savings and dynasty savings, where even no matter who is the bread owner, who gets the infrastructure, everything gets the resources, but ultimately wealth itself is for the entire lineage. It's not even the current family. It's for the dynasty. Dynasty means the whole lineage, whole vamsha, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. The vision is so broad. The stability, the importance of that stability that I am now saving for my grandchildren, right? Their future should be secure. Their future should be bright. This cannot happen if you are just simply cognizing wealth and money just from the personal, individual notion, right? That it is something I am related to. This is something my identity is related to. This is something I have to prove. So I have to save something for me. What is in it for me, right?
Yeah.
Extremely individualistic and only seeking your own personal gains. That is one of the core civilizational differences. We can even see that which has led to the destruction of the whole stability of the institution of marriage in the West now. So much of divorce rates, right? 50-something% for the first marriage, 63, I think, percent for the second, 75% for the third marriage. It's just increasing. completely destroying the whole institution, whole stability, and leading to a complete collapse of the society itself, right? So many aspects. And even the Supreme Pontiff again and again bringing out this aspect of stability in the family, how it is important. Even to his own disciples, he again and again, nurtures them, enriches them, build stable relationships. We even talked earlier about relationships versus situationships, right? When we talk about this distrust and this extreme individualistic way of looking at everything, even money or wealth and savings, this is just coming from that concept of situationship.
Yes.
We are not really wanting to be in a relationship, because when you are in an authentic, genuine relationship, the individual identity is naturally melted away.
And people have this kind of cognitions of situationship even after they've made a lifetime commitment.
Yes.
See, it is like so the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says we have to after the child is born in a family, then it is a non-bailable offense. You cannot have the divorce concept in your cognition at all. You cannot bring the situationship concept to a marriage, because it is going to that whole concept will destroy and affect the whole community. It's not just your immediate children. Your whole friends and your whole family will not be able to understand. Hey, you are not able to keep it together. You're not able to have make out your differences and come together and make it happen, make the family happen. That whole trust is just melted away, and that you just should become an example when you have the word divorce behind your name. It is just a very black mark, even in the Hindu community. Just how can you have such a concept? It is not just like how it is the same as equal. I don't know if I can compare, but it's like if you are in the West, if you are having your grades in math, if you have anything below 90%, you're looked down upon. What's wrong with you? But in the same way, when it comes to how you're holding your marriage, if you're looking at a person who's having a divorce, no way. And I've seen actually the way that the Hindu community has its tendency to just come together. In no way, my friend can't have a divorce. No, my friend is a real guy, and he's my friend. He can't go through it. And they come together and pull together and ensure. And they're very close knit, even if they're away from the joint family, even if they're in the cities, anywhere in the world where the joint family isn't there. Still, they hold together and say that you made a lifetime commitment. Keeping the family together is at least important for the next generation. Don't do it for yourself.
Yes.
Even the decision to stay together many times in the Hindu family is not for yourself. It's not it's for the next generation. You have to be the better example for your children.
Yes, and exactly. Even when you draw the analogy between the high scores in the mathematics, it's basically an elitist lifestyle.
Yes.
Having stable families is elitist lifestyle.
Yes.
This is the best thing. It's what most evolved, what most mature people do. And once you're involved, once you take the decision to enter into a relationship, into a family, it's not just about you anymore.
Yes.
Whole society is involved.
Yeah.
The family now becomes a unit, an engine. Even all these things we have discussed earlier, an engine to uphold dharma, to uphold artha, to uphold kama, to uphold moksha. All of these aims, the four purusharthas, to achieve them, family starts becoming that individual unit in the society to start that process. Right?
And Maharaj, we just wanted to mention thanks to our people who are joining us in this conversation. Nithya Kalparikshananda, a member who's been 2 years with us. Thank you for your comment. She's actually, I think she's in her comment addressing Swamiji, she's giving gratitude for. And of course, we're also grateful fully all the context and the whole source of whatever we're discussing is based off the revival of Hinduism that the Supreme Pontiff is telling so much. And we have so much information going forward about the Hindu stable family, exactly Swamiji's words on the Hindu stable family. And also we have Tatiana, a member for 2 months, and she has nicely given a donation of $5. Thank you, Ma. Thank you for supporting Kailasa. And join the conversation, Ma, and let's let's have a look in at how our relationships are. And yes, Manish, you
Exactly.
can continue.
Exactly. We would love and to respond to all of your comments on your questions. Existing viewers were commenting. Thanks a lot, and continue to post your comments, any questions, any whatever you want us to discuss, anything. It's all for the enrichment of the people, to take Swamiji, to take the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, his message to as many people as possible. Because even in the current topic, what we're discussing about relationships, about stability of relationships, what their significance is for our own self and for the entire society. And we are bringing all the facts, how it really leads to the betterment of the society, on the economic sense, how it leads to the betterment of the society. Because even all these aspects we will be discussing, but fundamentally, what I want to share right now is that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is bringing out these core cognitions to solve all these problems of society. And stability of the family is one of the most powerful ways to trigger this whole process, this revival of the conscious civilization, of the enlightened civilization on planet Earth. And that's exactly the experience, from the personal experience of completion and healing all your incompletions with in your own relationships, giving you the right perspective, the right cognition of what kind of relationships to have, how to attract the best people in your life, and to how to manifest those stable relationships. Not just marital relationships, all kinds of relationships. It can be friendships, it can be your professional relationships, your colleagues, how to have stability even in your business, right? So all these things are just relationships ultimately. So how to manifest the best cognitions and attend to these relationships and manifest the best relationships in your life, which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is personally, experientially transmitting to all the disciples and all the participants of the Paramashivoham program. Right? In the Paramashivoham program, this whole process, the teamly process that we go through, the living Advaita process, the completion process, the Samskara Dhana Kriya, all these things, powerful techniques which he teaches and which he initiates the participants into in his personal guidance and in his powerful energy field. You will just see this magic happen, then all healing happening, and all these, as we were discussing, trust issues, and if any individual has gone through these problems, instability in their family, or parents, and this and that, so many especially in the West, right? So many people are going through this. So how to come out of it?
Yeah, either you have personally have someone who, your parents or someone who has had a divorce in their lives, or who personally had gone through such a trauma in your life. It is actually a very good time to look back at why you even made those decisions, or why that would have happened around you, to heal from those experiences, and to really give yourself a new look at the world, and give yourself a powerful cognition about how relationships are, how you were saying the relationship should be, and how you can have them for the betterment and contribution to the whole society.
Yes, exactly. And ultimately, first of all, it will benefit you, it will fulfill you. Fulfilling relationships are something which everyone wants, right? Nobody is happy with just hopping from person to person. Ultimately, nobody wants that. Everybody wants that stability and that fulfillment with the right person, right? In any situation. So what is stopping you from doing that? It's some incompletion, the instabilities that you are going through inside, the agitation, or whatever, restlessness. So coming to the ground reality of what is the cause of that, how it all started, your root pattern, completing with that, and ultimately establishing yourself in that stable Paramashanta state, the state of restful awareness and peace and completion and oneness with Paramashiva. The whole thing, the whole experience is personally transmitted and taught and given experientially to all the participants by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, in the Nithyananda, welcome back. We apologize for the technical. So just before which happened, I was talking about the Paramashivoham program. That's for the Supreme Court of Hinduism. Teams of Paramashivoham. So we urge you to register as quickly as possible and benefit and let the Supreme Court of Hinduism manifest in your life in all the best dimensions. Yes, Maharaj.
As much. I just wanted to share an experience when we were growing up as kids, and we saw that when we saw anybody had went through some violence, having an unstable situation in the family, and in our age, as in our kids, when we grow up, I also found out that we were conflict. So we would hear the neighbors fight, and then they would think, oh God, the same fighting that is happening in the neighbor's house is happening downstairs right now. Oh my God, our parents are going to never divorce. And this is a small way of thinking, but just being exposed to even the possibility of this kind of instability in the family brings so much of fear and trauma. Just even if it's a small way of thinking, just to see that it can bring tremendous amount of fear and just mistrust. It introduced the idea of mistrust. Just how the Supreme Court of Hinduism said, if you had no idea that you could be betrayed in your life from as you were, somebody is there that can betray you. This idea never existed in your life. If that was the case, that is exactly the promise of the Hindu state. That there is nothing that you people that you insert your trust in your whole life. You can rely on them and they will be there for you until you are handed over, until you are able to stand the way you want. That's the promise that is there given by a stable family. And it's held together by the secular union. And it is inside the Paramashivam programs that the Supreme Court of Hinduism has throughout the years since Mahaviras began to give the people the possibility of taking their marriage into a new dimension. Literally understanding that our relationship, both of us right now, or both of us, the relationship is something more. It has more people, it has a community, it has extended family members, and it is more than that. We are literally a unit, a small population, in fact. And with this small population, what are we going to do? How are we going to move forward? And it is that way. So if you're a couple, and if you really want to really understand that, we can take the time to look back at your own relationship and rejuvenate it and have this conversation. It's actually a beautiful time to have this conversation when it comes to inside Mahaviras program. And it's through the ritual of the Vedic marriages, and then those Vedic marriages take people through those Vedic marriages with authentic commitments that are done in the Vedic marriages. Those are all some of the topics that are discussed in some of the completion processes that are done inside the Mahaviras program. Just to even have the idea of a divorce in your life.
We had this amazing celebration of Meenakshi Tirukalyanam.
Yes.
And we did the same thing. That's what I was going to say. I don't mind.
Yes, you remember.
That's the celebration of the celestial wedding between Devi Meenakshi and Sundareshwara Paramashivam. And what that invokes, how we can benefit from that in our own life, how to manage a stable, fulfilling relationship with our own partner, the right cognitions, take relationship next level and how we experience it. I hope all people who are watching experience that, they celebrate that along with us. Because anyway, ultimately the Supreme Court of Hinduism is sharing all these things, all these giving all these right cognitions to us about each and every aspect of our life, especially when it comes to relationships, or what marriage really means in the Hindu context. Giving the right context to your marriage, your relationships, other relationships as well, so that you can flower to your highest potential with that relationship, right? Making even that relationship as a tool, mutual tool for both the partners. Many people are there in that, whatever, let's say a friends group or a colleague or a professional or a company, how they can work together and manifest their highest potential, both individually and collectively. So completely taking the whole narrative about relationships to a single narrative.
Yes, yes.
Right? That is what the Supreme Court is doing in the Paramashivoham program. So again, our urging, just if you want to manifest all the best possibilities, just scan the QR code and you right back to them.
Yes, and it requires a leader, basically. You become a person who's able to take these same solutions that you discovered within yourself, in the Mahaprabhu, to all the members of your family, and you can really spearhead everyone to really cognizing why they are there, why are we there together, what is the purpose of our unit, what is the purpose of what are we going to contribute, where are we contributing, why aren't we contributing enough? All these questions come, and it all is the reason where it is always is inside the Mahaprabhu. We get to look and we do the Kriya like some to our own thought currents. And seeing where these thought currents and these patterns that they're carrying are literally manifesting outside of us as situations in our families that lead to instability and divorce. And it is not like the whole Indian stable family system. Sometimes, if you see actually people are struggling, if you're inside a family right now, and you're seeing that the struggle is there, you see that we're not as successful as we want to be. We're not coming together and bringing success as we want to be. Paramashivoham is to really help us move away from these kind of lower doctrines of the middle class mindset and come into the elitist kind of thinking that we are. Is again so many statistics that those are literally on top of the world, contributing continuously to the world. They're the highest and most richest ethnicity. And this is a realistic family. And if you are right now living in a family or more efficient, want to bring yourselves together, know that you guys will be more better unit by living together. The Paramashivoham can help you become that leader among your peers, among your people you love, and really bring out the best way of how you can contribute to your life. And inside the Paramashivoham program, there is the teaming process. We come together and hold each other for the goals that we have in our life, causing each other's reality. That is where the spirit body gives them. So it is one more, just another statement from the spirit body, because a stable family, where it's rooted at, it's not just people or a few bodies living together or more number of bodies living together. That is not it. It is not, and not having fights. It is not just that. It is not just about seeing more people living in one place and having less fights. That is not what a joint family is. That's the kind of way that it's projected. But a joint and a stable extended family is actually the harmony, or the singing that happens when all of us are aligned to one particular ideology. And that is where the group comes from. It is actually in that way that they have that the whole family system since time immemorial had the Guru. Like how Ayodhya Kingdom had the Guru of Vishishta, who was the Guru, and the Rajaguru of the family of the Sharad. So the Guru had an important role in aligning everyone to the ideology of Hindus, of ideology, of core understandings of Hindus, such as Paramashivoham, God, permission to here today, and live an enlightened life. These kind of realignments were done by the seers, by the pontiffs who kept this whole in alive. And some words that Supreme Pontiff says, but a stable family, a joint family, we need so much of understanding and intelligence just to keep us together. And around intelligentsia, they want to live around the most elite thinkers, people, and they want to feel really knowing that everyone around them is to support them and going to take them to the next level. Sri Bhagavan himself further says that it's like living with a group of enlightened beings, and that is actually the same ecosystem that Supreme Bhagavan had. It's a huge effort, but keeping, especially the joint family, but it does so much to it's so much about the success experience today. They finding themselves in every field, contributing and becoming successful, and becoming the role models for all their disciplines. That is the inner growth and the power that comes in with a stable family. These are just the words that I wanted to share with you on this.
In fact, it manifest all the aspects, all the dimensions, and also success of Hindus, even let's say for the United States, that the richest community, right? And the most stable family, least amount of jobs, again, for the Hindu community. When we talk about education, most amount of educated people from any single community is from basically 85% terms are having at least one undergraduate degree. So all these things, it's actually, you can pose a challenge, right? Anything, if you feel no, it's not because of stable family, it's because of X, Y, and Z reasons that they are so successful, they are so non-violent, nothing. You give us any reason, you prove it to you that result is possible only because of the stable families. If there is any, right? Because of the stable family, the right energy, consistency, that security, that happens, that is what leads to the only growth in the children, completion, not developing crazy patterns, which torment us throughout the life, right? It also acts as a shield from the external violence and whatever disturbance are happening outside, gives the right cognition, the strength to deal with the ups and downs of life. All of these aspects are taken care of by the stable Hindu family, and even when we talk about the economic aspect, for example, right? We have seen the Hindu community, the Hindu society, the Hindu civilization stability it has shown over the years. It is because of this stable family system, saving, realistic saving long term. Even now, when we are talking in terms of the stock market and this and the new kinds of investments and so much of risk that has been taken, but this quality of investing long term, creating stability in the family continues in the Hindu civilization. That's a civilization and different we are bringing up the supreme point of view, highlighting and cognize and giving the cognition to all the other people, especially the part of the progress.
Yes, Maharaj, actually, we have so many points more from the Supreme Court of Hinduism of the advantage of having a stable family. Even some of the research that he himself did that we wanted to share with all of you about stable families. If you just give us a few moments, take a short break, and we'll get back to you on this beautiful topic. Thank you.
The nature of consciousness. The source of awareness. The relationship between our ego and the world. This has plagued us for generations. We strive to understand why we are the way we are. Why our reality is the way it is. Why our life is the way it is. But what if the way we see the world as separate from us is just an illusion? What if our consciousness exists before all experience and is not limited to the confines of our body and mind?
Today, what I revealed is practically the whole Hinduism in a nutshell. If you make the column, you will see clearly most of your problems are internal non-understanding. When these internal non-understandings are cleared, life becomes Leela. You just manifest what you want. I'll make this as a realization in you all now through this initiation and darshan of Sadashiva.
Like health, wealth, relationships, outer world success, inner world success, peace, enlightenment. Everything is coming from that stability of the simple core unit of family, which is the unit of the enlightenment ecosystem itself, right? We have been sharing statistics, and even last we were discussing about the economic aspect, how the stability of the family, the importance of the stability of the family leads to a completely different kind of an economy itself, right? And that kind of economic, it shields all the people and the entire economy from the rapid, the sudden ups and downs of the economy as well. Sudden financial crisis and this crisis or that crisis, right? But we have seen Hindu community, it's not really bothered much about all that. Did not even really get affected by even the 2008 financial crisis. We saw the Hindu civilization, wherever Hindu community is located, they were shielded from the effects and after effects of the financial crisis to a very huge extent because the fundamentals were strong. It is a savings-based economy, right? It's not extremely driven by consumption and credit, which is fueling that consumption, which will naturally result in a complete collapse in these situations. But since it is a savings-driven economy, it gives that cushioning, but it saves you, it protects, it shields the whole community in these kinds of situations, and also leads to the stability across the generation, right? Giving the protectiveness, giving the security for the children to have a proper upbringing, to have that secure feeling, to really benefit, have the best time in their lives when they're growing up. And that is that level of completion really, which they carry throughout their whole life. The best contributors, the best, the most responsible leaders, just being the products of that stable ecosystem. That is important.
We were just mentioning about gurus and how they actually take the whole ideology together. And in fact, if the guru Sampradaya does this and keeps the whole context updated to giving the spiritual solutions from the Shastras to the modern day problems, or the way that we perceive problems as modern and we understand it. But even in Maharaj, I want to mention that the Kula Deva also plays a significant role, especially when it comes to, for example, the real example I give is just the family. It can come together as an ideology of we worship this God, we worship Venkateshwara. Venkateshwara is our God, and it gives us so much compassion. He continuously showers on us. He's the God of continuously giving, and having even that concept as a Kuladeva, and all of us ideologically having our own way of connecting to that deity. Whether he is going to be like a Krishna in my understanding, or whether he's going to come as a elder brother like a Rama in my life. However, you want to cognize, Venkateshwara comes into your life as a Kuladeva or any other god like Paramashivam himself. Anyway, you can cognize that. And then that Kuladevam's ideology itself comes and it is there resonating in everyone's heart. And everyone just, when you just talk, you can all just, that is how even they just come together and sing the songs of Venkateshwara, sing the songs of Paramashiva together and come together because we resonate with that same ideology. This God means something more to me and to all of us together. It is literally in our DNA.
Exactly, that's what I was.
Yeah, but
it's not just the level of ideology. That is, of course, there, right? Ideas, the understanding that the commonality, the common ground of those understandings, and the connection with the deity, the Kuladeva, the family deity. But it is actually something which is there in the DNA level as well. The cognitions which the Kuladeva, the family deity represents, they are carried on from generation to generation in our DNA. Right, the whole system, even from this in little small detail, we can take the whole Putra system is based on this, right? Carrying the same DNA footprint of a particular Putra, and how when you marry across these Gotras and how the intermingling happens, and for the best results, how this intermingling has to happen, who can marry who, and for what results, This whole science is what the Hindus have mastered, and it needs to be told to the whole world how this stability is manifested, how it is even possible. Right? It is possible. It has happened throughout the human history, which also needs to be shared and properly, articulated to all the people, especially the young Hindus who are out there curious, who want to know all these things, all the Hindus, what really generated the best geniuses of the Hindu society, right? The Adi Shankara, Ramanuja, all these people, Aryabhatta in science, mathematics, all these people. How is it even possible to have such genius? And how these stable families have actually manifested, how the stability is even possible, how Gotras plays the role in that, how the DNA footprint carried on from generation to generation plays a role in that, right? Scientifically, right? In the whole concept of Kuludevta, what role it plays in this whole stability, how it creates the stability, how it makes the manifestation of the best gene, the best DNA, keeping that DNA alive from generation to generation, actually making it better and better. Right? To make the next generation even more genius than the previous generations. All these aspects have to be brought up. That's exactly what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is doing. Keeping this whole science alive, reviving it. That's exactly what you're saying. Right? The ecosystem is ultimately kept alive only by gurus. And this now, today, we have an incarnation of Paramashivam, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, who is reviving the entire science, the super science of Sanatana Dharma on the planet Earth. All these things, all these aspects, bringing out the scientifically, giving the Hinduism scientific legitimacy in each of these aspects, how this really works and how this is time-tested, foolproof system of living life the best possible way on the planet Earth for the right purpose. That's exactly what Hinduism is, and that is what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is proving experientially in the Paramashivam programs. Right? Yes.
And a small light note, you can see that the whole Paramashivam program in the presence of Swamiji it's like a joy, spiritual joy. You get to see all the aspects, and of course they're all filled with a lot of little joke on how people have their small conflicts, and Swamiji has just puts them in such a light tone and brings them to us in small stories, in small jokes. And I just wanted to share one important one. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares that Hindu marriages happen for so many reasons other than love. I can say that almost if there are 200 reasons why you married, who you married, and pen them down, other than love, everything will be there. Here's a joke that he says, one man says, I got married because I was tired of cooking, cleaning the home, and washing clothes. And then another man tells him, amazing, I got divorced for the same reason. I was tired of cooking, cleaning, and washing the clothes. And Swami says, that is not why you should get married. He says, if you need someone to wash your clothes, buy a washing machine, buy a dishwasher, and buy a vacuum cleaner. You don't get married just for these things, or you don't just get married just to do these things. And in the same way, he brings it back. He tells these kind of jokes, but he brings it to a beautiful context. He says, don't have the same utility and value to life. He says, don't treat life with this constant, like you're having a marriage. Because this is very important when it comes to the completion process. It's your relationship with life itself, right? Individually, when we do in the Paramashivam, we look at what relationships are we having with life, how we deal with life. Look at the exact same way we deal with other people. If you feel life is going to be continuously giving problems, challenges, and going to put you, it is not going to treat you fairly. It's the same way you treat with another person in your life. So in the same way, life, you will constantly nag with your life and say, constantly nagging, life is unjust, I'm not given what I want, I am not given what I am qualified for, it doesn't work. It's like this, and you constantly nagging like a baby towards your own life. Life would treat you in the same way. You have to behave like this. Behave that you have to behave with life like a friend. Don't cry all the time. Treat with life as something that is always contributing to people. This is the way that we do the program. We do the completion. We rebuild the identity we have, and we build ourselves authentically. And we don't constantly nag that. And this is where the individual people have this stability inside themselves.
Yes.
It is in the stability that you experience inside yourself that manifests in the stability of your family and energy outside. And that is what is brought out inside as an individual immersive experience inside the Paramashivoham program. When you sit with yourself and jot down where it all is that you are contradicting with yourself, where you're contradicting your own relations, and how to clarify. So he also says that a stable family and a joint family, as you said, you get to have so much understanding. So just inviting more people to the program itself. See, we have for example, in your life, you would have seen many people. Example, one of the reasons why the Supreme Pontiff says that how he was benefited from a joint family situation. Personally shares also. He says that I was exposed to so many types of examples of people. He says that I saw people doing the worst mistakes in their life in my family, and what happens as a consequence, how the family deals with him. Oh my God, he did this one thing. I cannot handle myself like that. And how they stay away from the side of society that the things that people look down upon, alcoholism, unnecessary relationships, over drug abuse, over addictions, and all these kinds of things just become out of the picture and become
That's also true, because when you see from the movie, from unfortunately, even when you talk about these jokes, right? These jokes are even there's reflecting something which is there. A problem that unfortunately even the Hindus, modern Hindus, have been a victim of this whole the external, psychology and the way they are cognitively managed the reports. Yes, exactly. I understand. That's why even these jokes have been made up, because we all have fallen into the same trap. That's exactly why this revival is looking the right context. These what really the marriage, how to really have fulfilling relationship, to have a complete breakthrough, come out of this whole rut that we are constantly facing, constantly going through, being stuck and just being unstable, all the time being unstable.
And it is very good to do the Mahabharata program with a person who you want to make sure that it's transforming together. Because when you see the other person redefining their lives, taking everything and doing everything authentically, the others' decisions and how they're involving each other, it just becomes an inspiration for the other person. Just like we can have bad examples in the family, we can have really good examples. And that's a perk of having a stable family. You look at your older brother, you look at your other cousin, you look at your other uncle who had success, and you think, wow, look at this. So those are also this being exposed to that. Actually, if you see that there's many things in the world that people lack this because they're living in such a situation where just they have themselves and they have their computer. That is all they have. And living in yes, living in and then it's like this, they seek these kind of relationships. And unfortunately, there's many people out there who just come out as a motivational speaker and see a motivational video to do workout or to learn something. Yes, on the screen, and this whole motivational kind of thing. You have to go to the internet to find it. But in a joint family, a stable family, it's all around you. Your entertainment, your entrainment, and your enlightenment itself is just there all around you. You don't even need to have that cubicle. You don't even have the space to lab. You can close the computer and just go have a conversation with one of your cousins or one of your friends, and
they'll not even let you be in a group.
Exactly. And this is the promise that even in the program, how we talk, how we sit with each other, how we do the program, is we created this teamly process and this kind of a camaraderie and this kind of a way of just seeing, hey, how is your completion? Oh, I've been able to have a transformation. This is how it comes. That gives clarity to how you can also look at. And such a beautiful back and forth happens when we do when we work with the program. And again, if anyone is having the intention now, immediately you have an opportunity to scan the QR code and give your intention and be a part of this great revival of Hinduism at the Divine Lotus Feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the Paramashivam program. Again, scan the QR code and sign up for Paramashivam.
You've seen the results, the outcomes. You see, even when you talk about the joint family system, when we day-to-day life, when we see the kids or even the adults who have been brought up in that kind of, the richness they really it's like they have so much more life experience just by being in that system, by being in a joint family. They are more richer, right, than someone who is brought up just in a family. Let's say just two parents and two kids or one kid. There is not much to even learn from, just except your own whatever is going on in your own mind and the computer screens. That's all, right? But the richness that they radiate are born and brought up in a joint family system. The stability, the fulfilling relationships that they make. We see that all around. There's so much anecdotal evidence, and I'm sure the statistical evidence we should put it out for the viewers in the future shows what kind of behavioral patterns do people manifest the whole for those who are coming out with the joint family system. So much of evolution. Actually, we've seen from the earlier years when the civilization was at its peak, it was not just the family alone. Actually, the whole village was a family itself. My parents told me the stories earlier when they were growing up. Right? They were also in the joint family system. They said it's not even just about the family. When any marriage used to happen, right? It was a whole village would come together. Yes. And some family would offer the grains for the marriage. Some would offer, okay, we'll contribute in this sector. We'll give the clothes for the bride or for the bride or whatever the situation is. So the whole village will come together and celebrate that. There was no concept of I have to keep money safe for this marriage and then I have to spend it. Where is the concept of money here? You have your whole village, which is your family that is coming together and making it happen. But now, from that village situation or the town situation, the whole thing coming and shrinking to a family. And now, unfortunately, even that family is complicated. Right? We see single parents, the level of divorce rate, even that family itself, is smashed to pieces. Right? Due to the dangerous situation, we have to address what has happened, what has brought us down to this level where we are so unstable. We can't even maintain one relationship with one person. For the betterment of ourselves, for our own fulfillment, and naturally should give fulfillment and stability to the whole society. Right? That's where the whole cognition of Hinduism, what is really a good marriage and a Hindu marriage, really, what gives it that stability, and what is the right context to have that marriage. Everything has to be brought out and explained to people to give their own relationships and complete a new healing.
Yes. Right? So, as we come to the close of our show, Maharaj, the whole thing boils down to these core cognitions that are there that we really have to understand. It is the you versus the maturity with which stable families handle each person in the family shows that this unit, this small population of people, only work towards contributing to the world and contributing to each other's life. And this is where problems are, because the whole family is talking about you. There is no one telling you about me. Everyone's talking about, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta step up your game. And the rest of that guy is doing this, you have to help me. All these kind of things are there. And the attitude of you is contribute. The attitude of me is selfish. The attitude of you is what is supposed to say. And the attitude of me is what happens when you only think about your own personal savings. And the narratives from Hinduism idealizes is a person who's able to show that they can contribute higher. And that is what Hinduism is about. See, this person is contributing. See, this person, and even our ideals. Krishna, how much he's able to contribute. Ram, how much they're able to contribute. It's about the sacrifices and the life they live for others.
The kind of stability that Bhagavan Ram and the Prabhu showed, even in his marriage, in his relation, yes, just that one example.
Yes,
and
celebrated.
And the supreme part of Hinduism reviving that very cognition.
Yes,
exactly. Yes. In the people, in all the participants in our Paramashivam program, making them manifest this truth of the stable relationships and all the completion, basic inner stability, inner power, inner peace, inner powerfulness. From that which emerges is the successful relationships in all.
Yes. And if you are having a stable, if you have a part of a joint family, and you want to be able to revitalize everybody's goals and bring everyone to Swamiji and get this going, and convince everyone in your family that we have to come together and join the Paramashivam program. Because this Hindu stable family, as we said here, is a civilizational advantage. And it is proven again and again that the Hindu civilization is an advantage over any other civilization just because of this stable family unit. And we learn this stable family can evolve us to learn from many people in our lives and how we can really learn. And then after we get initiated, even the spirit model of Hinduism says that when he's taking someone into the becoming a part of Kailas or becoming Kailasvasi, he says that he has seen that those who come from joint families, just because they were exposed to so much of trust in their lives, their availability to be open to the Guru becomes something that is something that he can really experience that connection with them and give them the shower on them the initiations because they're just more receptive. That same trust that they were able to have with their parents, the same trust that they know that their parents are always up for them and be out for them. And that this trust that the life is like this. Because as soon as a kid sees his parents get divorced, he just cognizes the whole life is just going to be messing my life up. And that creates so much of trauma. But a person who doesn't have that, who has lived with stable family and stable parents, has that trust that people out there, like out there, to support people, will reflect in their relationship with their guru. And when they approach the guru, Swamiji himself says many times that he's able to see that when he gives them initiation, they're able to grasp much better. They're able to manifest the powers. They're able to take that initiation and really manifest more in their lives.
I even remember making that statement once that the best sannyasis that I have are from the best families. Yes, that just shows not just the outer world benefit, even the inner world, right? The best that can happen to you is a stable family, a strong, powerful, nourishing, nurturing family that can even give you a break in your sannyas, is the ultimate spiritual goal, the spiritual paths, benefits in each and every dimension. Please continue.
And actually, coming to the close today, just another invitation. Actually, doing the Paramashivoham program is itself. Why do we want to say this? Because becoming part of Kailasa is becoming part of us. That family that we are as Kailasa. And it is really unfortunately Hindu religious versus are used so much to say that Hindu groups are out there to isolate you from your family and create a cult around you. Those are wrong, false narratives. Hindu groups are part of the ideology and they are all for keeping families stable together. And we have seen so many countless examples of people who have come to join Kailasa, who have seen them bring one by one member into their family, have a greater connection. And then we have a greater connection to the group and then be able to take that and bring it to the rest of their temples. And then you can see that this whole thing is like parents, they many people have said that they think you can tell examples on Dasarada, how he had the same kind of problem as a parent got parting with his son. Give the example in the same way how Guru Vishishta really took the responsibility.
Exactly. The whole system of marriage, it has so much of depth. The whole purpose of marriage, why you bring up the children, for what purpose, and how to really take care of them. What to do once you have a child. Till how many years you have to keep the child with you, and after that, when you send the children to Gurukul, then the whole concept that in Hinduism, once the child goes to the Guru, then parents are to be not necessarily important to the child. Then it is the Guru who is taking care of the child and to take the child to the next level of consciousness. So that's what happened in the case of Dasharatha, right? When Sri Rama went to the Guru and he went to meet Sri Rama. The Guru, Vasishta, he did not even allow King Dasharatha to enter the ashram, to enter the Gurukul. That's the importance of this whole system of not just the Hindu marriage, the whole ecosystem which is kept alive, and all these aspects which are kept alive, and which are now being revived by the Supreme Court, the Paramashivam.
And then actually the whole thing boils down to the violence experience in our lives. We may have so much of fear in our lives, and we have to recognize that this fear is actually a lot to do with the rooted in the violence that we have with ourselves or the violence that we see around here. It adds a lot of anger and frustration inside ourselves. And that's what results in so many conflicts and the divorce rates happening. So in the Paramashivoham, we have a chance to look at the narrative of violence that we have built inside our life and really take that out and literally look at our life again in the space of completion and remove and heal from all this violence. And when we individually heal from this violence that we carry inside us, even frustrations and anger in the inner side we may experience, but it does result in the world around us. And when we attend to this and in the Paramashivoham program, this violence that is healed inside us through the divine grace that just happens as a miracle in the presence of it the violence is there just in our muscles, in the way we behave. It's just in the way we even perspire, in the way that yoga and the way that huge sciences heal us from the violence that is in us. That reflects in the transformation of the individual. And when that happens, that same transformation will change the narrative in a civilizational context. The whole civilization gets shifted, and we will be operating from the state where the Supreme Court is telling when it comes to revival of Hinduism. The first point that we've always seen him do is ahimsa, paramo dharma. He says that it is in this space of non-violence, and he cherishes. That is the resonating message of ahimsa is the greatest non-violence. And we will be able to experience that space for ourselves, create that kind of a healing for provide that for everyone around us. And it is this ahimsa that is the very founding principle of
The fundamental principle of Kailash, the fundamental principle of Hinduism itself. It is only when we manifest this ultimate, the non-violent space inside the peace. It is only that which forms the bedrock of all the stability that we manifest even outside, right? In all our relationships, in all our health, wealth, all the situations in our life, it forms the fundamental of our own, not just our own individual narrative, but when we come together as in collective integrity and collective responsibility as a society, as an ecosystem, it forms the grand narrative of our own civilization itself. Fundamental in non-violence. Only from that non-violence, only from that space of completion, everything, the best things in life humanity. We can talk about countless number of dimensions. Today we are talking about the stability of the family and how it reflects and gives that ultimate benefits and ultimate utility to the civilization itself, the economic aspect, the social aspect, the spiritual aspect, the bringing out of children, all these aspects, even the education, the crime rate, everything boils down to that fundamental of space that we carry inside us, the non-violent completion space that we carry inside us. That's what is the hallmark, the fundamental principle which defines the Hindu civilization and the Hindu grand narrative. Everything else is the byproduct, right? Everything else is the benefits, the outcome of that space of non-violence. Dharma, as mentioned, it is given, glorified in our scripture. Hindus are the most non-violent, the most contributing people on the planet.
It is actually because of ahimsa, because of non-violence, there is a greater civilization there. Because we have that as the core principle of our religion. And that is what is being that is making Hindus successful today, and it is the core principle of the revival of the tradition that's happening in Kailash by the Supreme Court of Hinduism. We have one of our members giving a comment. Tatiana is telling, I think we have to teach in schools the subject of healthy family and marriage based on Vedic philosophy, and it can help our society.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for it. It's a very valuable comment, and we accept it. We attest it, and that's exactly what the Supreme Court of Hinduism is doing, teaching the world, the entire world. And even in the Gurukul, the students in the Nithyananda, they are taught all these lessons about cognition, which the Supreme Court of Hinduism shares. They are taught all these cognitions about relationships, how to build powerful relationships based on completion, space of completion, and full responsibility, the space of responsibility, being managing the leadership consciousness in your own relationships as well. All the best things in this teaching. It is these cognitions which the graduates of the group are being brought up with, right? That's what they are carrying, the cognition, when they are manifesting, becoming leaders and all that aspects of life today. That's already what the Supreme Court of Hinduism is doing. That's why we're urging again and again people to get involved, just come and experience what the Supreme Court of Hinduism has to share, has to give you experience in the Paramashivam program. And once it initiates, he will take to a completely new level, and you will see all these benefits, all these dimensions, and then you will sing the glory like we are singing right now, and you will in the world with people. Just that you have experienced all these things once, and that's why we're asking you to sign up for the Paramashivam program, which is going to start on May 15th. And for that, the QR code is being projected at the bottom of your screen. Please scan the QR code and fill the intention form of Paramashivam program. Yes.
Yes, sir. I think that we have come to a thank you for the conversation. It's been very nice. And can come to a conclusion to our discussion, and you can lead us to the next part.
So now we lead to the next most awaited segment, which is the presidential discourse from the Supreme Pontiff Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam. So let's, before going leading, let's do a small meditation and prepare ourselves to receive the Supreme Pontiff itself, having the darshan and receiving of an initiation in itself. And what is really the requirement of an initiation? A deep space of receptivity and relax and peaceful awareness that the disciple has to get, and master just does the job. Start going. So let's prepare ourselves. Let's sit with our head, neck, and spine in straight line. With our bodies completely relaxed. Getting the deep space of restful awareness, devotion, gratitude, and feeling connection towards the Supreme Content in our Anandamanta, which is the space between our navel center and our heart centers. Carrying that awareness of the Anandamanta, holding it, visualizing Paramashivam in all his glory, with bright golden light, with 25 heads, 50 hands, and 75 eyes. Visualizing Paramashivam in your third eye. And chanting the Bhava, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, reverberating in your entire being. The chanting of Mahavakya, let us now prepare ourselves to receive the Supreme Pontiff Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Paramashivoham.
I welcome you all with my love and respects. इस समय हमारे साथ उपस्थित सभी दर्शकों और भक्तों का मैं प्रेम एवं आशीर्वाद सहित स्वागत करता हूँ. Elmo to Nitya Satsang. Today, Mahadeva is gracing us as a bangle vendor. Valayal with Salilai. As a bangle vendor, is gracing us. If he sells the bangle, who will not want to buy? This bangle vendor is a very tricky job. I'll tell you the story of Leela, then you'll understand. Shiva once went to Targavana. Targavana is one of the oldest religious universities. Those rishis, professors, they became very egoistic, thinking that their knowledge is the ultimate, nothing more is there. So Mahadeva went as a beggar, Bhikshadana. Seeing his grace and beauty, all the rishi patnis have started going behind him. And all these rishis lost completely their face, and the manly ego completely got destroyed. The manly ego completely got destroyed. And the women, they ran behind Mahadeva such a way, melting in his love, and unable to tolerate is the distance between him and them, the story says even they literally, physically, they started losing weight and all the bangles dropped from their hands. And the meghala, the hip belt dropped because they started becoming so lean, missing Mahadeva. So seeing this, all rishis got very angry and declared all their wives have lost chastity. And he cursed them, and the rishis cursed their wives, saying that you guys will be born in the merchant community in Madurai. And Rishi Patni said, all right, you do what you want, we will ask Mahadeva for remedy. Mahadeva says, all right, ask the same fellows who gave the curse. And Mahadeva revealed his identity and ordered the Tarugavana rishis to give the remedy. The rishis said, all right, and Shiva himself will come and put the bangles again for you guys. Then you will be liberated from the curse and come back. So Mahadeva comes down as a bangle vendor, and in the name of selling bangles and seeing the size, he puts the bangle for all those rishi patnis who have come down due to the curse of the rishis. Sundareshwara releases them from the curse. So, by the touch of Mahadeva, all those women, rishi patnis, got liberated and went back to their original space. This is the 32nd Leela of Mahadeva. In that 64, what all he has to do to liberate people. He has to even sell energy beads to liberate people. Sometimes people call him businessman. That is okay. He has to do what he has to do, for which he has to do. Let's move to the next segment of the morning satsang. Today, subject for Nitya Satsang. I'll expand on some of the basic principles of mamakara, ahankara, anyakara, and through this I'll expand the subject stability. Because I gave a word yesterday, I'll speak on stability. Please understand, now I am talking very important subject and very sensitive subject. So I request you to move to the space of listening. Move to the space of listening. Why the Indian civilization is still alive even after thousands and thousands of years? Why the other civilizations like Greek, Egypt have died, and many other civilizations, African civilizations, they die and get created again. All of you need to know, non-controversially, this one truth is accepted by all historians. Indian civilization is the oldest civilization. No doubt about it. To create oldest civilization, to discover so many new things and offer it to society, something takes. What is that it takes? Listen. What is that it takes? Not because I am born and brought up in India. I am telling you the straightforward, simple facts. When British invaded India, India was the world's richest country. I can give you the list and list, tons and tons of material. Till 287 years before, Tanjavur temple was the tallest building in the world. Understand? For almost 703 years, unbroken record. Even now, that is the tallest granite building in the world. Understand? Tallest granite building, completely built out of granite. Largest granite building even now in the world is Tanjore temple, which is built when there was no machineries, literally hand carved. On the whole structure, every inch, the hands of the artisans have played. They use the tools which can be held by hands. No large size machineries, no automated tools, no MNC machineries. I was planning, somehow I wanted to build like that one granite tower. No, don't clap. Don't clap. I wanted to build. But the Stabadis have finally given, it will take 1,200 crore to build now with all the machineries, and they are saying at least 15 years they want. Now there are machineries which will bring exact, complete, final shape itself. You don't need to put your hand at all on the stone. They will cut from the hill. The machines themselves will give the finishing touch, and the machineries will assemble it. We have machineries to do that huge work. But even with all that, they say nothing less than a decade, means nothing less than 10 years. And Rajaraja completed the whole thing 2 days less than 5 years. Just 2 days less than 5 years, understand? The day they started breaking the stone, it's called Vastu Puja. And the day the Kumbhabhishekam, inauguration was done, 2 days less than 5 years. No machineries. It is not that easy to make elephants work. Understand? Because they don't get salary. First of all, even if you give salary, it is difficult to make Indians work. And it is impossible to make Indian elephants work. It's not a joke. How? How such massive things are possible? And you need to know, Rajaraja's one tower is not over. Immediately his son builds another one tower exactly like that, just to respect father, just few feet smaller. He says, I can cross my father's tower height, but I should not do. Just a respect. How so much can be done? And I tell you, still that carving, making deities, idols, that art, with so much of physical work without machineries. Maybe in next few days I'll give a tour to all you guys about our with our Sacred Art City. You can go and see. Everything is hand carved. How is it possible? Why will people do with so much of labor? How this civilization is able to do this? What you are seeing is a Tanjore temple, the world's largest granite building even now. World's largest granite structure even now. World's largest granite structure. There is a documentary in YouTube by BBC, Last Temples of India. I sincerely recommend all of you to watch that watch that YouTube. How is it possible? You should know one more thing. If you go to any village in Tamil Nadu, you will see a temple at least half of this size. How is it possible? I can give you at least 1,000 human settlements in India, which is 3,000 years old. At least 1,000 human settlement, which is 3,000 years unbroken, like Madurai, Tanjore. 3,000 years unbroken human habitat. At least 1,000 I can give you. Jagannath, Haridwar. In India, at least 1,000. 1,000 human habitats, which is 3,000 year old. How is it possible? Everything boils down to one truth: stability. Please understand. Western civilization, in the name of freedom, destroyed one of the greatest possibility for human beings: stability. In Hinduism, if your father is a painter, you have to be painter. If your father is an artist, carves the stone, you have to do that. If your father makes pots, you have to do it. Please listen, don't judge with your Western infected mind. It is so sad, even Indians have started believing you need to do your father's profession is a bondage. No. Freedom is, the real freedom is freedom from unstable mind. By teaching the wrong idea of freedom, they destroyed in all the fields we are specialized. How is it possible? A 14-year-old boy can repeat 2 lakh verses. In India it was possible. Just before we were invaded by the British fanatics, every village will have a Vedic school where 14-year-old child will recite at least one Veda, two Veda, which is like a 2 lakh verse, 3 lakh verse. Because the specialization, understand, the specialization, the moment you are born in a Brahmin family, the child knows till death you are going to be doing only this, better let us specialize now than later. In a carpenter family, when a child is born, it knows whole life we are going to be working with wood, better let us specialize now than later. All the artists whom I have, all of them, of course, now they are 30, 40, all of them have learnt the art from their parents from the age of 3 or 4. They started playing with the tools of their father, their parents. See, before 14 only, you make the right mamakara, right ahankara, right anyakara, right swa anyakara, all that. No, the specialization is destroyed. When the stability is removed, in every field, we had so much of specialization. See, in the modern day, Western, especially American civilization, nowhere you can bind people to be stable. You see, only in a stable stone you can carve the carvings which will be available for, which will be alive for eternity. Anything which gives way, which is not stable, whatever you make in it will not be long, will not be alive forever. Anything, you see, mud gives way, but anything you make out of mud will not be there more than few hundred years. Anything which is stable, on that what you carve only will be alive forever. In Vedic tradition, in Indo tradition, we learnt the process, method of how to keep human beings stable and carve the best things out of them. Our community system made human beings like rock. The moment you are born in a Brahmin family, you know your whole life this is what is going to be you are doing. So better learn all the 4 Vedas as early as possible. So that stability made geniuses happen. Same way, if you are born in a Stapati family, Stapati means an architect, traditional architect, they know till death you are going to be doing this, better learn it as early as possible. Concepts of freedom made human beings like a mud. Out of mud you cannot make anything permanent, anything eternal, anything great. The times of Vedic tradition, once somebody enters the monastery, he knows this is his life till end. Better live it. If you go out, you don't have life. Then the stable, great masters are created. But now, all you guys have too much of freedom, the pseudo freedom. So every once in 2 days you plan, do I have that choice, that choice, that choice? That is why even the married life lost stability. In the modern civilization, there is no more pati and patni. It is boyfriend, girlfriend. Married boyfriend, married girlfriend, or unmarried boyfriend, unmarried girlfriend. That's all. Because if you shout little loud, that's it. Over. Husband and wife both are always keeping one leg outside the house. I tell you, it is because of the instability in the family system we lost even the science of Tantra. We lost the science of love. The instability brought in the name of freedom destroyed Indian civilization, Vedic civilization. Because anything in Vedic civilization, the first prerequisite is stability. Because we are so rich, to specialize anything you need dedication of the whole life. If you want to study Nyaya, you have to be committed to it for whole life. You have to if you want to study Vedanta, you have to commit to it for a whole life. And there are some knowledge you can't even learn by committing to one life. Only if the generations commit, the fourth generation will master the skill. See, the knowledge of Siddha tradition, if the generations commit, only by fourth or fifth generation becomes a perfect doctor. How many of you cognize what I am saying? So, anything in Indian civilization, the way we cook, the way we eat, the way we clothe, the way we take medicines, our healing system, our worship method, our lifestyle philosophy, our art and architecture. For example, somebody joins the ashram. Only if he is stable, I can transmit all these great mystery sciences. See, the day my master, my mentor, Raghupati Yogi adopted me, he built a very clear, conscious inner image for me, outer image for me, my image about life. So now I know till death, this is my life. So because of that stability, he was able to transmit so much of spiritual knowledge. Please understand, I am the fulfillment of fantasy of my many predecessors. I am the result of many of my predecessors' hard work. I am the perfection of many of my predecessors' hard work. Raghupati Yogi is, I think, maybe 7th or 8th generation from the yogic traditions, yogic masters, the Nathapandi. It is called Nathapandi, the Nath Sampradaya, where they will make a big hole on the ear. And he wanted to make for me. Somehow I escaped. It's called Nathapandis. Of course, finally he did not leave me, he made a small hole here. The Nathapandis who went to Burma, of course, those days Burma was part of India. When Burma got separated from India, my mentor, Raghupati Yogi, came back from Burma and settled down in South India. Burma and South India had a very close connection. Tibet and South India had a very close connection, like Bhatma Sambhava, Bodhidharma. All of them are from South, went to Burma, Tibet, and all those areas. In Bodhidharma's time, there are clear mention, clear recorded history. The perfection. See, because I gave that stability feeling to him, he was able to transmit the whole knowledge. And I am so happy. My parents were so strong, never allowed me the so-called pseudo-freedom. I feel, please understand, I feel so bad when I see some of my Gurukul kids' parents allow the so-called freedom of the kid and take their kid away. I feel, oh God, I am so grateful to my parents who did not do that. It is not that I did not come back to my mom and dad and complain about the torturous training I have to go through with both my mentors. It's not that I was that stable with Raghupati Yogi or Kuppammal. But I tell you, my mother will just have a deaf ears whenever I say anything about them. My father will not listen. And he will say, hey Swami, today you will complain about them. Tomorrow you will only be going and sitting with them. I am not coming in the drama. Actually, parents should be little insensitive. You should not be too possessive and sensitive about the whims and fancies of your kids. How can kids have right whims and fancies? You need to spend little time even for them to get the right whims and fantasies. Till then, you need to leave them to settle down with stability. I tell you, the Indian laws now, present laws, are dead against stability because the pseudo freedom idea was put inside us. I tell you, biggest crime the British fellows did to us is injecting that pseudo freedom idea into us and saying, if your father is carpenter, you don't need to be a slave and learning the same carpentry. You can go and clean the bathroom in UK. And you can go to Dubai and clean the shit of the camel. Richest country in the world, why do you guys need to go to other countries for job? First, eating the shit of wrong ideas given by them. First of all, the idea of economic growth by them is wrong. No, really. Actually, I am already working. By the end of this year, I will be launching. I am going to create, just like ISI mark, the Hindu Dharma recognition mark to the companies which live the principles, the basic principles of Hindu Dharma I am going to recognize. I'll build this brand. Let dollar not be the parking place of our hard work. Your parking place is wrong. We always think dollar is the most stable place where we can park our hard work or what we swindled. Even the Indian politicians who are supposed to be responsible for the stability of the rupee, even they keep all the money they swindled through the rupee in dollar. Please understand. The politicians who are responsible for the stability of the rupee swindle the rupee and store it in dollar. Then even if they don't trust rupee, how is the rupee going to gain the respect of stability? Wrong parking places, wrong concepts, and Indians need only one thing: get back to our stability lifestyle given by our community system. That our country suppressed certain section of humanity. I tell you, no, it was not as it is getting projected now. The exemption incidents are compiled and the documentaries are made as a history of India. In India, the so-called suppressed community was treated much better than blacks were treated in America or Europe. There was never massacre of Dalits in India. And Ambedkar is not the first guy to talk about Dalit freedom. There were millions. Why? Buddha was completely against Brahmins. We worship him, listen to him, because what he was saying making sense. Somewhere one or two ego clashes is shown as if suppression of one part of the civilization. In that name, the whole community system is destroyed and the stability of the society is lost. What Krishna says in Gita, when the communities get mixed, the civilization is lost. I stand by Krishna's words. I'll work to bring the stability of community system. When a boy is born in Kshatriya family, he should know politics is going to be his life. He has to learn that science from the age of 3. When a boy is born in a Brahmin family, he should know this spiritual knowledge, learning and spreading is going to be his life. Better he start learning the spiritual lifestyle philosophies from the age of 3. He is not going to be respected as a doctor or engineer and that idiotic software engineers and all the Brahmin software engineers. You fellows are responsible for all the degradation we are suffering.
You should have stood like your elders. Your elders were not rich. Your ancestors lived with one piece dress, one meal a day, but they stood with their temples. They stood with their teaching. They stood with their preaching. The stability, hats off to the stability of Dalits, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas of Vedic tradition. Hats off to the stability. I know I cannot finish the subject of stability in one satsang. It is my heart I am opening. And I will continue in the next satsangs. I will be strongly promoting the community system, even though I am not a Brahmin. I wanted you to know. I know I am talking in a national channel. I want these ideas to be internalized. This pseudo Dalit suppression idea which is created by politicians for political mileage, for vote bank politics, please don't believe. Oh, mainstream media, leave us to live our life. Get out of our country. Give us our country back, our peace back. I'll continue on the stability tomorrow also. Today, I'll move to Nirahara Samyama. After this Nirahara Samyama Kriya today, please break your fast. Tomorrow morning, eat and come for satsang. You can eat all the 3 meals today. Tomorrow morning also, have your breakfast and come to satsang. Because from tomorrow, you will be continuing 7 days the samyama. आज क्रिया के बाद पूरा दिन आप 3 पर खाना खा सकते हैं. कल सत्संग आने के पूर्व खा के आइएगा. Now let us start the Nirahara Samyama. अब हम नित्य सत्संग के अगले भाग निराहार संयमा में प्रवेश करेंगे. सीधी तरह से बैठ जाइए और चेतना स्थिति के साथ कल्पना कीजिए कि आप बिड़दी वटवृक्ष बन गए हैं और अपने दोनों नासिकाओं और मुंह के द्वारा सांस अंदर लीजिए. जितना देर सांस को रोक सकते हैं उतना देर रोक कर रखिए. जब आप सांस और नहीं रोक पाएंगे, मुंह बंद रखे सांस को अपनी दोनों नासिकाओं द्वारा छोड़ दीजिए. मैं अपनी पूरे संपूर्ति श्रद्धा, उत्तरदायित्व और लाभान्वित करने के 4 तत्वों के साथ आशीर्वाद देता हूं कि आप सबकी कुंडलिनी शक्ति जागृत हो जाए और अपनी जीव ऊर्जा सीधा आकाश और वायु से उत्पन्न करे. यह क्रिया 21 मिनट तक लगातार कीजिए. Now start the Nirahara Samyama Kriya. First, cognize you have become Biddi Kalpavriksha and
visualize you have become Biddi Kalpavriksha and do the Kriya by inhaling through the mouth and both the nostrils, holding as long as you can by closing the nostrils and mouth. When you can't hold anymore, slowly exhale through the nostrils, keeping the mouth closed. Do this Kriya continuously for 21 minutes. Please start the Kriya. I bless you all with my integrity and authenticity and responsibility. Let you all experience the awakening of Kundalini and produce the energy directly from space. Live health, bliss and enlightenment. Namah Shivaya. Let you all achieve, experience, live, express, radiate, share and explode in eternal bliss. Nithyananda.
Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nithyananda.org. www.youtube.com/Life Bliss Foundation.